Well, hello and welcome to the new video, and look at this car we have here today. It's a facelifted Hyundai Tucson. This is a diesel version with all-wheel drive. Let's have a closer look at the novelties of the car. So we have a brand new front mask, although it doesn't look that different, but we have fewer LED daytime running lights here. We have only 4 now. Before there were like 6 of them, I think. We have new LED matrix lights. They work really nice in the night, really nice. Yeah, and much bigger air curtain on the side for very slightly improved aerodynamic efficiency. Although this car is not particularly aerodynamic, it has a drag coefficient of 0.33. Maybe with this new improvement, as I didn't find the value of this car, maybe with this improvement 0.32, which is still rather high. But anyway, and then also maybe we can have a look here. We have active flaps for the good cooling for the car, which is important. And so this is the new improved front mask. Let's move to the wheels. So we still have 19-inch wheels with slightly newer design. We still have the tires of 235/50 R19 of them. And if we look at the suspension, the front McPherson suspension, we have quite a good amount of positive caster geometry. Yeah, then as we move along the car, 2.68-meter wheelbase. The conception is done such that the driver is not sitting that far really from the front wheels, which is maybe slight downside, but it's still a really nice driving car anyway, as I will tell you in the driving part. And we have these typical design creases of the Hyundai. Look at this. And they seem to me that they look more pronounced than before. Maybe let me know, but they really look rather cool. It's an interesting, intriguing design. And then as we move towards the rear of the car, well, I think not much has changed in here. I think the light signature is as it was before. You still have this Hyundai logo under the glass, and you have a wiper under the roof, which is nice. And yeah, anyway, let's have a look into the boot, which has, I think it is 564 liters of the standard capacity, and it's a really nice and practical boot. You have nice carpeting, 12-volt socket here, strong LED light. You can fold down the seats very easily. Although not many hooks in here, if I'm quite honest. I would like to have some hooks in this boot. Yeah, but it's a decent family boot, and you also have a speaker here. This car is equipped with a Krell audio, which is I think a new brand in terms of Hyundai. And now that we're here, let's also have a look at the geometry of the wheels. And the geometry is such that we have more negative camber at the rear axle than at the front. And we also run a slight toe in at the rear wheels, which should help the car rotate, as it is quite an understeery car with the diesel engine up front. Let's also have a look into the rear, but let me tell you, just as we're here, 54-liter fuel tank for the diesel. And let's sit into the rear. And as you can see, it is really nice and practical and comfy and spacious. You can also adjust with this lever. You can adjust the seating position in the rear, so you can really hide behind the glass. That's really cool, really practical for the family, for the children. You have a sunshade. You have three part heated seats at the rear, a tray for the can, and you also have third zone of the climate control in here, so you can adjust the temperature in here, and also 2 USB-C charging ports, as well as armrests with cup holders. And just this space is fantastic. Space for the head, with really nice, really good, family-friendly car. I really like it, and based on this, I'm really not surprised that it is selling as well. Anyway, let's now have a closer look at the engine. So let's have a closer look at the engine. Oh, but this is a heavy bonnet. This can be a workout for some, particularly for ladies that drive this car a lot. Yeah, but anyway, so the Hyundai Tucson is still as versatile as ever with the powertrain. So you still have hybrid, plug-in hybrid, diesel and petrol, and all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. So you can choose from various options. This is diesel, all-wheel drive, 1.6 turbo, SmartStream D, 136 horsepower, 320 Newton meters of torque, available in between 2000 and 2250 RPM. I think mated to the 7-speed DCT transmission. And as you can see, the engine is lying well ahead in front of the front axle. You can see the dampers here, you can see where it lies. Where is the turbo? The turbo is, I think, it's a rear mounted turbo in here. And I think the access is good, decent enough. Let's have a look at the battery. This is 68 ampere hour original battery. So yeah, good engine, good efficiency, probably the best engine in terms of efficiency, as this car doesn't have that great aerodynamics. So if you want to keep the fuel efficiency of your older, let's say sedan or combi saloon car, you need this engine. Anyway, let's talk more about the experience. Let's take it further down the road and let's drive the car. Well, hello and welcome inside the facelifted Hyundai Tucson, a very favorable family car and mother's car, mostly. Now, so let me talk you first through the interior and what has changed. So we have a new steering wheel now without the Hyundai logo. We have 4 dots here, which I've seen on the Hyundai Ioniq 4. They were separate lights. They were for charging. Here is just well, I mean, it looks nice and minimalist. I like that. Then we have these nice buttons on the steering wheel. Very good layout. Also very easy to turn on the intelligent cruise control on with the active second level autonomous steering, I think it is. And then also the change was here in the central console. So we have the gear selector now here as a separate stalk, just like it was also in the Hyundai Ioniq 6. I really do love this. Also the position of it is brilliant, you know, because you just sit in, you don't have to put your hand up like in the Mercedes or a Volkswagen car. You just put it here on your knee and just do it like that. So I really do love that. Then we have a brand new hardware controls for the air conditioning. I really do love them. So you have 2 rotating knobs, and then you have the display under which you have the buttons. And yeah, it's a matte display, so it's not shining during the sunny day. I really do like that. Very easy to use, very easy to navigate. Fantastic. And then also here, this central console was improved slightly, so you still have some buttons in here. So for example, very quickly you can turn off the start and stop system. You have the auto hold button here, the hill descent. You have cameras, you can see it, you can turn them on and see 360-degree camera from above and around the car. Fantastic. You have the lock mode for the gearbox, as this is an all-wheel drive, and you have a drive mode selector, which we have 3 modes: eco, normal and sport. And then you have 2 cup holders, really deep armrests, really deep armrests actually, and beside the cup holders you have wireless charging function. And what I have to say, what I like about this is that it's probably the first one that I've tried that is not making my phone extremely warm like others. So really good wireless charging. And then under here you have massive amount of storage, really massive amount of storage. And also over there you get 2 USB-C connectors for charging. And then also on the dashboard there's been a slight change, so you have these new sort of displays ahead of you. It's a curved screen as well, and you have also a storage area here on top of the glove box, which wasn't here before. Otherwise, in the interior, I have to say I really do like it. You have some synthetic leather around you. This is textile through the dashboard. New air vents, I think they look like. So really lovely. And the seats, well, these are the combination of leather and fabric seats, and they hold the body quite well. I really do like that. The sitting position is quite nice. You're not sitting too high up, although you are sitting slightly higher, of course, but it is an SUV. But anyway, let me start the car. I had the glow plugs on for a bit, and that's a very easy start like that. So we have a diesel engine in here with all-wheel drive, which is the option that probably most of the customers will like with this car. And it is a very reasonable one, because these cars, you know, they are not very aerodynamic, and so this isn't as well. It has a drag coefficient of 0.33, which is quite high, right? And this has massive aspects on the fuel efficiency. Did you hear this sound? So you need to turn off. Also, you have a new infotainment, which I love. Really, it looks more candy-like, much more easy to navigate. So it's fantastic. You go into vehicle settings, assistance, and then here you have this picture. I press the speed limit, turn it off, and safety of the driving, and turn off the lane assist as well. The only thing I have to say to the infotainment is that maybe I would love this car to be able to have some controls, because at times it feels, you know, like I have to really reach out for it. I really have to lean forward to do some things in it, and this distracts you a little bit. Otherwise, it's a really good infotainment. This new version is fantastic. I really do like it. Very easy also to pair your phone with it. It's a very quick process. It does it automatically, sort of. It shows you immediately on the phone. So really great. I love that. But anyway, let's get back to the driving. So we have a diesel engine, and diesel engine is great because we have not that great aerodynamics, so we need a diesel engine because we want some good efficiency. And this car, thanks to it can get some decent efficiency. So the consumptions I've been able to do on the longer travels, and on the motorway with 140 kilometers an hour are 6.5 to 6.7 liters for 100 kilometers, and then on the B roads you can do 4.7, 4.8. So yeah, really quite good, but maybe not as good as you might have expected it, and that is due to the aerodynamics of an SUV, because we have a big car, you know, it's a big car. It isn't also quite a long car, so that it could lead the air in the best aerodynamic way possible. But yeah, decent consumption still, and with this diesel engine you can get very good range from it, and that is the biggest reason why people buy this diesel engine, and I still think it's probably the correct engine with this car. Even though I thought a little bit maybe with hybrids you can get the consumptions very similar to this. So it really is up to you. But if you want to buy just a purely petrol engine, I would not advise it maybe to you, because then the fuel efficiency is going to be much worse. On the motorway, when I tested the car with the petrol engine, it was like 1 to 1.3 liters more per 100 kilometers. So when you think about it like this, the diesel really has some, yeah, it's very reasonable, you know, for the car. Otherwise, what I have to say in terms of changes, I really do love the suspension and the overall driving experience of the car. This car, thanks to the damping and thanks to the very light steering, but the steering, despite that, it's not in any way not precise. It is actually very nicely precise. But you just have a very simple, easygoing feeling of driving this car. The damping, I have to praise. The car has excellent body control over the bumpy surface. It is not floaty, it is not bouncing in any way. When you have a really big bounce on the road, it just filters it and goes very slowly down. So I really do love that. Someone might say that he gets a sporty feeling from the damping of the car, because it is really nice, the damping of the car. So yeah, I really do love this aspect. It's just a beautiful car to drive, you know, comfortable, and just this easy feeling of driving it around, and you know, with the steering wheel being so light, and the nice pickup of the diesel engine, the low RPM when you need to drive with the traffic or need to overtake somebody. It's a pleasant experience, really. So yeah, and then maybe the technological difference is that now we have LED matrix lights in the front, and I tested them during the night drive, and they are very nice on the B roads. They are doing a really good job with it. Where they don't do the best job though is the motorway. I was being flashed multiple times by the trucks, by the lorries, and yeah, they just shine too much on the motorway. So, but that's a novelty with the car for sure. Also on the front mask we have less of these LED daylights that create the front mask. So yeah, and then maybe also what is reasonable to tell you is about the cornering. So if you then pick up the pace with this car, what shows up is that although it's not a bad car in corners, but with this diesel engine also particularly, we have a very early step in of the understeer. We have leaning on the outside front wheel rather than rear wheel, although very initially, on the very slight moment initially, it is doing it on the rear because we have quite a good positive caster geometry they tried. But the whole conception of the car is more towards the family, towards the space for the family, and therefore me as a driver, I'm sitting slightly closer to the front wheels than in some maybe drivers' cars, although not as close as in the Kia Sportage, and that is important. So yeah, but overall it's a really nice driving experience, and no owner of this car is going to push it into the corners, because really it's not what it was built to. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you how this new Hyundai Tucson is. Let's come to the likes and dislikes. So I think it's mostly about likes with this car, because you have fantastic practicality, big enough boot. Now you have a slightly newer and different design, which I like, and they improved the ride. You have slower rebound on the dampers. It's a really pleasant ride. It's still a comfortable car, but it gives you a decent amount of feedback. The efficiency is great. We have a mild hybrid powertrain, so when you're not accelerating, when you let off the accelerator, it charges the battery slightly, and overall it's a really nice experience. And then the biggest improvement was done here in the interior, so much more easier to navigate through the infotainment. Very nice layout for the air conditioning here, and it's very sort of close to you, so that you can do it very quickly and adjust it every time. Also, this torque for the gearbox is in the absolutely right place. I wish everyone who has automatic transmission will do it like this, who wants a stalk. So yeah, and then also this central panel is great as well. And the thing I like there is the wireless charging, as it is the first charging in this class, the first wireless charging that doesn't heat up my phone really to be extremely hot. Yeah, so anyway, I think that would be it to the recap of the Hyundai Tucson Facelift. It's a really great car, and I completely understand why families buy it, because it is practical, it's good looking, and also it drives really nicely. It has good suspension and good chassis, and it's just a very relaxing, pleasant experience to drive. So yeah, that would be about it to the Hyundai Tucson. Well, if you liked the video and found it useful, well, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos are coming on very soon, and I hope to see you in the very next video. In the meantime, take care of you, and goodbye.